Hello, Dante's Game Room, back with another comic book review. This time I'm reviewing Rick and Morty vs. the Universe, Beth Till Death number 2. This is a one-shot from the Rick and Morty vs. the Universe series. I have tried to record this video over and over and over again, and one thing or another keeps on making it not happen. This is one cover, and this is the other cover. I think the book was written really well. I'm not a big fan of the series. I don't know much of the canon. However, I think this comic perfectly encapsulates the show and the comic book. It correlates well together. Rick and Morty aren't in this book that often. In fact, most of Rick's appearances are little notations saying read this one shot or read this story and to understand this and this. This story mostly revolves around Jerry trying to re-propose to Beth and Space Beth because he doesn't know which one he's really married to. And they're sent on a mission, well, Beth and Space Beth is, and Jerry tags along to Planet Pluto Casino to retrieve an item, which Jerry, of course, bungles it all up. And they end up getting captured and thrown into this, like, UFC cage, which brings to the ending of the comic book, but like it also brings to point the weakest part of the story, which is the ending. It just ends out of nowhere. Jerry says, I'm going to do this. He does this, and he does that, and then suddenly Beth and Space Beth have to rescue him after he saves the day and fixes the problem. And then they go after the item. Like I said, to help Rick fix the multiverse that he's done something to in the timeline. But overall, I felt the writing, the art was great. In fact, the art in many cases was better than the cartoon. The story was really good and fit the feel of the show very well, except for like the ending. But for all I know, that could be completely within canon, how it ended out of nowhere for no reason. But I gave it a 7 out of 10. And I thought it was done really well for a cartoon television show comic book. Like I said, Rick and Morty are barely in this, hardly at all. In fact, you could take the Rick and Morty name off of it, and you wouldn't miss a beat. But it ties into a greater series, like I said. This is a one-shot. It ties in with the other one-shot, which is Summer of Love. And of course, I think it's a 4-part miniseries, the Rick and Morty vs. the Universe. So if you're a Rick and Morty fan, go pick this book up. I think you'll enjoy it. If you're not a Rick and Morty fan, don't pick the book up because it's basically the show in a comic book. Like I said, I think it's done really well if you look at it like that. However, the ending was really just thin to me as a comic book and just as a story ending. It could have been done better, but I'm not versed in the canon, so it could be completely normal for how it ended to end, just but it kind of threw me off. I was like, wait, what are you serious? But okay, whatever, but other than that, it was a quick, enjoyable read. And like I said, if you're a Rick and Morty fan, pick it up. It's a can't miss. But until next time, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the little bell icon if you want to be notified when I come out with another comic book review, drawing video, or what other video I'm doing. But until next time, Dante's Game Room out. Bye-bye.